My friends, hello. Welcome back to another portion of our pointless challenges. And I need to turn my challenges on again, which I always forget to do. Our challenges for this run is to take every single dupe we see until 100 and don't skip any, don't let any die. We're going to be only producing manual power, and we are going to be producing every food type. So let's go ahead and check in with what has changed since the last run. I guess we'll just start with my plans. I'm not going to be super formal like I have been in the other videos in the past, but my plans for now is I need oxygen, obviously, but first I need power to solve some of those problems. So I am going to have to go through a bunch of different things before we can start getting to where we need to get. So what I've started building over here is the little prison area that we're going to start housing any of our generator dupes in, or our battery dupes. They're just going to be stuck in there, and they're not going to be allowed to leave. So I'm going to have this door. Nobody can go in there right now, but once I start sending batteries in there, they're going to be people that can't leave. And yes, I'm calling them batteries, but they're really more like power generators, but whatever, we'll call them batteries, because why not? But there's a big dependency chain that needs to be solved before we can get there first. One of the challenges of being in this area is they're going to need a couple things. They're going to need bathrooms, and they're going to need food shipped to them. So I need to solve the food problem first, and I don't really have a great answer for that. And there's going to be a whole dependency chain that's kicked off because of this. After this, I'm going to need to solve oxygen, which I'm going to need a lot of power for because I can't use the benefits of generating oxygen from electrolyzers and get the power benefits, so that's going to be kind of a bummer. So my prison's going to get pretty big pretty fast. And then we are going to need to solve... There's a lot of polluted oxygen around here. These things are not able to keep up quite as much. Uh-oh, who's suffocating? Okay. But yeah, so after we get oxygen set up, I need to start worrying about a longer-term food solution because we are a little bit on a clock with this dirt. There is a lot more dirt to be had, so I don't feel too bad about it right now, but we will need to solve that because there's only a finite amount left, and ranching pips is not really a good idea. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to skip straight to the space biome, and there's a lot of people suffocating. Need to get all this stuff cleaned up down here. Oh, it's because I'm having them dig this out. Well, hopefully nobody dies, otherwise that will be the end of the run. You dying? Okay. Maybe I'll just close this off for the time being, or just cancel these jobs. Whoops, need to pause. Yeah, so let's start getting what we need up for our prison cell area. I'm going to need shipping, so I can ship food there. So we do have some of the stuff researched. I think I still have some on the way. If I don't, then I messed up. And yeah, I probably messed up. I must have had to research something else, so let's go ahead and continue research on that. What else did I research? I can't remember. But anyway, the long dependency chain eventually ends with ranching shove voles. Shove voles are in the space biome, and there's a lot of work we have to do to be able to get up there and start ranching shove voles, but those are basically the super duper endgame food in terms of being able to sustain. Of course, we're going to produce every food type as we have listed down here, but the shove voles are going to be what makes us economical. Otherwise, we don't have the water to be able to push everything that we're trying to do to grow different types of food and all that. Oh, by the way, well, two things to catch up on comments from last video. I haven't really done anything, but that's because there's open jobs right now. First thing I did is I made different schedules for our batteries. So I have 3 different schedules right now just to assure that there's always batteries that are on shift. There's always going to be 2 batteries, and I'm just going to call them batteries, even though it's not a good name, but whatever. There's going to be 2 batteries on shift throughout the day at minimum. And I don't think I'm going to eventually go up to 4 different shifts, but that's going to make sure that we don't actually run out of power during downtime. Actually, let me change this a little bit because this is not optimized for where I want my batteries to eventually be. Eventually only need 3 blocks of sleeping time. The 4th I usually add because it takes time for them to travel back to their bed and stuff. So might be able to squeeze 4 in there. What is this? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, we could eventually get 4 in there, but anyway. Yeah, so I've got schedule set up, and I've also got hats on my dupes now. Somebody wanted me to use hats. And I'm not going to use hats for denoting who's who. I'm purely going to be using hats for looking cool. And clearly the coolest looking hat are the improved carrying hats. So I'm going to have everybody wearing these. So yeah, you wanted me to wear hats, but you didn't say why. So that's the hats we're wearing. So Let's check out our skills. Starting to hit the morale thresholds here, and I'm probably not going to get too much higher, so I'm just going to have to be okay with where this is right now. Why do I have this in doctoring? I don't want that. Must have made a mistake. Batteries, sure. You're a general person. Ooh, that gets you access to the new hats. Yes! Best skills. You need to spend it on this. Cook, yeah. The reason I'm having everybody wearing the improved carrying is not only because it's the best hat, objectively, but it is the hat that everybody's eventually going to have, so we want uniformity in this colony. We're not down with this different hat expression or useful hats. We're just down for everybody looking the same. Supplier, yep. Start getting this. Okay, we're good on skills. It's going to take me a little bit longer to manage skills since I have so many dupes. I'm starting to get a lot of idle warnings here. I know I said I'm not going to pause, but I might have to. Let's start thinking about how we're going to manage food. The weird thing with shipping food, and especially to like different sections, is that the arms that actually load these, they load way too much. If they were to pick a block of food up out of here, it would be like all of it in one fell swoop. And that is not what I want, because I don't want to ship everything to one location. I need to find a way to split it. So what I need to do is I need to have like a food sorting facility where I send food to one direction or another, and it's enabled based upon if that section needs more food. So what I think I'm going to do, let's start thinking about this a little bit. We start letting people in so we can start messing with this. I don't want them using this though, so let's go ahead and toggle all these off for the time being. Well, actually I can just do this more easily. Not have to wait for dupes to come over here and do it for us. We could just go like this. Priority 1. Okay, so what I need to build out here is I need to build out bedrooms, bathrooms, place to eat, place to store food. So we're going to need more space regardless. So let's start solving some of that stuff. Build up some ladders. This is enough ventilation, I think. And I just have this extending all the way to the edge here. So this is going to be just like a big, long, like, hallway for me to store everything. I don't know why this bothers me too. I do feel the need to, like, build into these small areas if they can't reach it. It doesn't actually do anything, but it's just, I don't know. I like the uniformity. There's our stuff. One thing, at least I think I can take advantage of, is the way that it gets sent down conveyor belts. I'm talking about food. The food will get sent down conveyor belts in smaller chunks, and I could probably just start sectioning it off from there. So I'll probably ship all my food to one location, and then just split it based upon where it needs to go. I think I'm going to do this for everybody working... Oh man, I have more idle warnings, and I can't afford that right now. So I'm apologizing in advance, because I'm going to need to pause here for a little bit of time. So it's maybe a little bit uneventful, but what I'm probably going to need to do is I'm going to need to have my prison area totally isolated over here, and then I'm probably going to have an isolated, like, space colony area up here. And that's going to be both for two things. One, because it sounds really cool, and we're all about being cool. But two, I actually just think that's going to be more efficient. If I have a section of the colony that's reserved for digging out regolith, and yes, I'm going to do that manually, I think. I'm either going to dig it out manually or I'm going to move it manually. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to have it for that. I'm going to also have that colony up there just for shovels, and they're just going to live up there, just so that they don't have to travel anywhere else. And I'm going to trap them in the same way that I trap these guys in. That's just so I get much more efficient work from people up there. They're not traveling all the time. This was a concept I was kind of thinking about if it was even possible, or like as a gimmick, just to see if it would be cool to do it as a gimmick, but I actually think this is going to be useful as a purposeful build, just to focus people's time as much as possible into working in like a very designated area and having a very narrow scope of practice. Starting to sound like a doctor, but yeah. So let's keep building this out, and let's get enough space to at least have all the rooms that we need. So for eating, for example, I could have eating happening here, I could have like bathrooms and stuff here. I'll probably put the bathrooms actually here, along with eating. It depends on how many dupes I'm going to have, because I do need the filtration and stuff. I'll probably have the... No, I'll probably have the bath... Nah, I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. I don't know. I'll have the bathrooms probably here. We could maybe start worrying about that, maybe get some water pumped into that system really quickly. Might as well just do that while we're paused. So, now that we don't need this ladder anymore, let's get this out of here. So what I'm going to have is... Let's see. Start to get some bathrooms. Some lavatories, more specifically. Don't think I'm going to need too many. I think that'll be fine. Let me see how many more I'm going to need for sinks. How many is this? This is 8. That's not quite. I think I can't have this one. Assuming I want an equal amount, which you definitely do. These dupes are also going to be very clean. They're not going to be around touching other stuff, so the only reason I'm going to be using, or the only reason I would need to store food in any particular way is just to avoid spoilage. So I will not be using any refrigerators or chlorine or heating or cooling or anything like that on my food over there, because germs should not be an issue. And I say that now, and then it's just going to be an issue, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I could put some sinks entering after dupes pick up food or something like that. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud because I haven't really thought this through yet. So what else we're going to need over here is we're going to need a tank for water, so that if everybody's flushing the toilet at the same time, we can make sure we're cleaning it correctly. Get a water sieve, and then another tank just full of extra water. And here we go. We are being forced to print. Let's see. Decreased bathroom use speed, I really don't care about that, so I think I'm going to take this person. I don't know what you're going to be long term, so let's just call you a rancher, well, farmer. No real reason to separate the two. Print. I'm not going to keep up on their hats. They'll all be wearing the same hats eventually. I did my minimum contribution to that effort, so be happy is what we're going to say for now. Alright, so water sieves needs to be here. I'm going to make a copy of this for there. And this is all just going to be self-contained in this loop. And I'm putting it down here. I could put it here if I wanted to, but I want to make this all like generators. Just so we have a nice setup here for that. I'll just go ahead and deconstruct this, I suppose. The annoying thing, question here is, am I going to need to ship anything out? And I think the answer is yes. I think I'm going to need to ship out polluted dirt. Although the other dupes can just come grab it. I guess it's not that bad. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Oh, okay. We might as well just let this sit for a little while. Let's get all the slime and stuff out of here. I'm going to also mark these bottles for sweep just to get them out of the way. It's a little trick you can do if you want to... jeez. Little trick you can do if you want to keep certain bottles of polluted water around, because you'll note that I am keeping it around to generate oxygen here, which is very critical for my colony right now. Speaking of which, we should make sure we're actually producing enough. Yeah, it's not great. Are we actually pumping more in? No, we're out. Oxygen's becoming a problem. Alright, well, we're getting very sidetracked. Let's pump it in from here. Pump. Go like this. There we go. And then for power, I think we have enough on this circuit, or rather, enough left over on this circuit. So let's go ahead and just run it down here for now. This is going to be very sloppy, like I mentioned before. Whoops. We're out of refined metals. Okay. Oh. 99. Okay, so like I was mentioning, I don't want to get rid of all my polluted water, so I'm just going to mark this for sweep only and for polluted water. And then I will do something like this of getting all the polluted water out. And then as soon as they move that polluted water, I'll have it request pretty decently high. It'll dump it out here, and it'll at least be out of the way so that there's nothing producing polluted oxygen regularly, and then I can get rid of these deodorizers. I think we're pretty much good, so we go ahead and start deconstructing these. there's any extra, they'll just go ahead and pick it up, so it's not too big of a deal. Okay. Getting our bathrooms up. I think we said we could have 7? Yeah, I think so. Go ahead and deconstruct some other stuff. Do I not have sinks? Oh, I don't. That's hilarious. Alright, well, time to get that. Where's our medicine? Wait, I do have sinks. Why am I missing this? Oh, here we go. I'm just messing up. That's why. 3, 4, oops. 4, 5, ah, jeez. This is so embarrassing. Okay. Go ahead and drop some stuff in there. So our bathrooms are pretty much started. Let's get rid of the rest of these deodorizers. Thing that's kind of bad is I'm going to wind up spilling polluted water all in here again and have to go through the same process. Maybe I'll just actually add some way for this just to... nah, I don't have a really good idea for this. Okay, well, anyway. Let's set up where we're going to store our food. Maybe somewhere like right here, so that's pretty handy. Just drop it in one little tile. We don't need to store it in a box or anything like that. As long as the tile can collect some carbon dioxide, that'll at least keep it fresh. Which means that this is going to be my room to eat. Let me see how many tiles this actually is. It's about what we normally have, so cool. Maybe one more. Let's see if we can fit this. I don't know how big a Great Hall can actually be off the top of my head. Let's look. Great Hall can be 120 tiles, so we're good. And then this area up here will just be beds, I think. Or, you know what? They're prisoners. They're not going to get beds. I'm a very inhumane prison keeper, as you can tell. Okay. So let's get our water sieve up. Let's start setting up our piping. It doesn't need to be protected from any sort of temperature or anything like that. Man, this is going to be a lot of piping. We're just going to come out. I guess this is all just going to go to the side. Like so. One thing I kind of wish they had in this game, which I've seen... Well, they do have it in debug, but I wish they had it in the real game, and that would be able just to save blueprints of something and be able just to place it, so that you didn't have to do this stuff all the time. I could just be like, I want a curvy pipe, curvy pipe, curvy pipe, curvy pipe. That would be really nice. Okay, so what's coming out of here is going to be clean water, so let's go ahead and route that up here. I guess it doesn't matter. What the... Doesn't really matter how it's set up, so let's just do something like this. I will go through like a piping tutorial probably at some point, because there's a lot of questions that people post about that, not understanding how to pipe stuff. One thing that is kind of cool though is if you ever have a piping setup that looks like this, scroll, like this, where it just goes from like one input and then just right to the next one, that'll assure that everything gets filled up in order. So it's kind of neat if you want to make sure that something is requesting to its max before it gets allowed somewhere else. And that's probably what I'm going to do for shipping as well. So it's kind of a cool trick. We'll talk about it a little bit more as time goes on. Wait, this is too big for a bathroom. They don't really need the morale bonus though, so I guess I don't really care. And I guess it means it doesn't need a door. Oh well. That's our solution for making a mistake, is oh well. Alright, so let's route this down. Something like that. Gotta route this over to the other tank. And I just have this holding tank because the sieve might not be able to purify water as fast as this is going to put it out. And especially because I don't know how big this is going to grow. So, for now anyway, I'm just going to create a tank here that's going to take all the polluted water and it'll chill in the tank until it's ready to actually be cleaned. Once it's actually cleaned, which can go through at a very slow throughput, it'll just get set into this other tank, which is just kind of a backup reserve. This is going to be determining how much water I can actually put into the system at first anyway. So that's going to be done probably here. I need two things here, excuse me. Two things here of whether we need to vent water and when we're going to be putting water in. I guess putting water in can just happen anywhere, so, and I can use polluted water too. I guess I'm using that for oxygen right now, but I don't really have any other water sitting around, so we'll just go ahead and use that. Speaking of which, probably need to get on this pretty soon. Okay, let's see if we have any other research that needs to get started and keep our researcher busy. I will need steel. We could talk about the shovel stuff while we wait for any of this stuff to get built first. So the shovel stuff, don't think I'll be able to see one right now because we can't see very far into space, and they're usually pretty far out there. You might have to like dig up the eggs or something like that, so they should be out here, and if not, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble because I'm really relying on that for food. But the whole idea behind shovels, let's go ahead and look at the database, is these things produce a ton of meat when you kill them. So I'm just going to have a setup out there where I'm just going to be feeding them regolith. I'm going to be grooming them so they put out as many eggs as possible, and those are just going to be my only food source for sustaining. The challenge is that we're going to be producing every food type, and we're going to do that later, but we need to eventually live first. So living is the first priority. Okay, so shipping, we don't need this pipe. Let's start setting up our shipping for this. So I'm going to have a chute here. I'll just put it down there. And this is going to be where I drop off food. And I need to actually probably put like a pressure plate there. I think I'm just going to have a pressure plate that's going to tell me when there's no food there anymore. Which means that I don't want dupes walking there. So I actually should change this. I don't think there's a reason for them to want to walk there if I do it this way. And I've never had to do this before, so I'm probably going to make a mistake, and that's fine. Weight plate is what we want. This will send a signal if there's nothing on it, or vice versa. So I'm going to set up a shipping network so that when more food comes in, if this needs more food, it's going to go here first. As soon as something lands on there, it's going to turn it back off, saying like, I have enough food, we're good. This is kind of a little bit of a ghetto way to do this, only because we're kind of relying on the travel time of the food to get there before it's actually useful. And I may need to also set up some kind of loop. So that we're cycling the food out to the other sources if it's needed, and when it's not needed, we just leave it alone. So this is going to be weird. I'm going to need more space too, so let's go ahead and just deconstruct these. And yes, I'm still on outhouses, and we're probably going to be that way for a little while. Food, doing okay. Might as well just do our checks here real quick. Make sure I have more access to this. So I'm going to set up some kind of loop to turn on whenever somebody is requesting food, like an external source is requesting food. We're still going to try to centralize it as much as possible in this one area. Then when somebody is requesting food because their pressure plates have gone off, we're just going to start cycling the food and we're going to send it out to whoever needs it. So maybe we can get that done before we need to stop this video. We're at 24 minutes right now, and I'm trying to keep this to a reasonable length. So let's see, how are we going to do this? We need many things. We need a conveyor rail that's going to go over here. Actually, that was bad. Let's have it go up here. This is going to be where the sorting is going to take place. And by that I mean, like, we're going to send it out to the requesters that actually need it. So I know I'm going to need at least 2 of these little pods, so I'll leave enough space for either one. And I'm going to use a conveyor shutoff. Conveyor shutoff is going to be activated if either one of these actually needs it. So let's just put one here and one here. We can move it later. So I'm going to run shipping line all the way down. This is just going to get dropped right back off, by the way. So this is awkward. I guess. I mean, I don't know a better way to do this. I don't want to ship entire clumps at a time. I wanted to only ship as many as it's going to be needed, so we're not super fragmented with our food. And this is not the best of ideas in terms of turning on a whole system when I need something, but I just don't really have a better idea than that. I need to put it on a rail when it's needed, and I don't want to have everything on rails all the time, and I want it to come out in like a big burst. So like a big line of food, so that we line it all up and we get it all to drop off in this one place, and they have food for a while. So maybe this is stupid. I don't know. This is the first time I've done this, so if it's dumb, then it's dumb. Let me cancel. This is going to be where all the food is dropped off. Even when we get all of our other shipping up, like we're shipping meat, or if we start shipping any of this stuff, it'll just all get dropped off in this one place. I'll have an auto sweeper that's going to be putting stuff in the right places. And I need to have this requesting higher than anywhere else. I guess I don't need this extra space, but I might someday. I don't know. This is also probably going to have to change because we're going to have to cook our food at some point to get the morale bonus, but yeah. So, now that we have the conveyor rail started, let's go ahead and wrap this all the way over to our prison area. And then it's going to drop off, let's say, here. Okay, now we need... Well, we don't have refined metal, but we would run automation all the way over to this area, both to tell this arm to start working. Yeah, that's fine. To tell this arm to start working, which is going to be basically pulling stuff from here and putting it into the conveyor loader, and then we're going to be shipping it out there. The other thing to think about that I'm just thinking about now is there's going to be a bunch of stuff on the floor, which is not a problem. These are really just here for the requesting, so these will eventually go away once we have everything being shipped a little bit better, and once we have a better way to clean our food if we're not going to use refrigerators, which I may try. I've getting a lot of people talking about that. I don't think it's that big of a deal to use refrigerators, but a lot of people talk about it, so I may just try not to do that in this run. Alright, we have to take another dupe. This person's perfect. The pacifist is one of the best downsides to a dupe, so I'll pretty much take those every time. Being buff and a quick learner too. This is like probably the best dupe in the colony right now. Alright, Lee, you are going to be a supplier. It's just going to be somebody that runs stuff to boxes for the time being. I'll get back on the hats later. I know. Alright. Oh, no, not grilling. Oh, I didn't want that. I'm going to have to scrub that. Whatever. Okay. So now we've got all of our shipping set up here for requesting. We definitely need more metal, so that's what's going on there. Did we get more power here? No, there's not power done yet. Why? Why do you not have power? Oh, it's because nothing has power. Right? No, stuff does have power. Okay, now I'm just confused. Oh, it's because it's... No, it is all connected. Time to fix bugs. Oh, that'll do it. Alright, so we can cancel all these shipping, or all these sweeping requests now, because we did clean up the area. There's no more polluted water sitting around, so I'm going to just cancel sweep and mop orders. There we go. Still a bunch of junk in here, but that's okay. Alright, so we know this room is going to be for our Great Hall, so let's go ahead and start setting that up. It's going to be super great. Let me set up the station for... Whoops, it's not a station, it's a furniture. Wouldn't ever call a water cooler furniture, but, you know, whatever. And hey, we got our metal refinery, which we're going to eventually use for steel, so we can start getting out into space. Let's keep this open. And furniture. Okay, this makes more sense, mess table is furniture, because you sit on it and do stuff like that. It's a furnishing. Need to make sure that this is turned off so we're not wasting water here. Okay, we're getting pretty close. The last video's gone over 30 minutes, so our prison is on its way. By the next video, hopefully some of that will be operational. We'll have our shipping operational, so I'll check in around that time. Like I've been saying in the other videos, if you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, let me know, and I will definitely reply to them, or some cases, add hats to all my dupes because I was asked to use hats. So let me know what you'd like to see in this, or if you have any anything to talk about, any suggestions, whatever. Please leave it down in the comments. I'll be back with another video probably within about a week or so. I will be away out of town for a little while, so I'll be back soon with more videos, though. So check that out when they come, and I'll see you guys later.